In the quiet village of Sundarpur, where the golden sunrise bathed the fields in a warm glow, lived a man named Kiran. He was a man of great effort and determination, waking before dawn and laboring long after the stars had claimed the sky. From carrying heavy loads at the marketplace to working in the fields, he poured his sweat into every task. Yet despite his ceaseless toil, fortune eluded him. His pockets remained empty, his dreams forever out of reach. Day after day, he watched others prosper. The merchants with their glittering shops, the landlords with their vast harvests, the travelers who returned from distant lands with stories of wealth. All seemed to move forward while he remained shackled in the same place. He felt like a drowning man, struggling against the current, but never reaching the shore. The weight of comparison crushed him. Why is my life so different from theirs, he would ask himself. I work just as hard, if not harder, but I remain poor. The more he thought, the heavier his heart became. Frustration turned into despair. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth, putting even more effort into his work. But fate remained unkind. His crops withered, his wages were cut, and the debts grew. Every road led to a dead end. One evening, after a day of grueling labor and yet another disappointment, Kiran sat by the riverbank. The moon cast a pale light over the rippling water. His mind was a storm, filled with sorrow, anger, and helplessness. I am nothing, he whispered to the wind. I have failed in every way. Tears streamed down his face as he stepped closer to the water's edge. The river seemed to call him, offering an escape from the endless struggle. Without another thought, he let himself fall forward, surrendering to the embrace of the depths. But fate had other plans. Before the river could claim him, strong hands pulled him back. Coughing and gasping for air, Kiran found himself lying on the shore, staring up at an old man with kind yet piercing eyes. Drenched and shivering, he felt the weight of his misery lightened just by the presence of this mysterious figure. "Why do you throw away what is most precious?" the old man asked. Kiran's voice was weak. "I have tried everything. I work from morning till night, but I earn nothing. I see others succeed while I remain in suffering. I am tired of this life." The old man, a wandering guru, nodded with understanding. He gestured for Kiran to follow him. With no strength left to resist, Kiran obeyed. The guru led him to a quiet place under a banyan tree. "Tell me," he said, "if you plant a seed and dig it up every day to check its roots, will it ever grow?" Kiran shook his head. "No, of course not," the guru smiled. "Yet that is what you do with your efforts. You work hard, but your heart is restless, always comparing, always doubting. A tree does not rush to grow. It simply does what it must, and in time, it bears fruit." Kiran listened, the words settling into his mind like the first drops of rain on dry earth. The guru continued, "Your suffering does not come from your hard work. It comes from your expectations and your comparisons. If you remove these, you will find peace." For days, Kiran stayed with the guru, learning the ways of stillness and patience. He meditated by the river, watching its flow, understanding that life, like water, must move at its own pace. He learned that effort alone was not enough. One must also trust and let go. When he returned to the village, he was no longer the same man. He worked with the same dedication, but without the burden of comparison. He no longer saw himself as a failure, but as a man on his own path. And in time, without force, without despair, his fortunes changed. Opportunities arose where he least expected. People noticed his sincerity and honesty, offering him chances he had never dreamed of. The villagers asked, "What happened to you? You look so peaceful." Kiran only smiled and said, "I learned to let the river flow." And so he lived, not just as a laborer, but as a man free from the chains of comparison, at peace with the rhythm of his own life.